Students have always asked me what is the highest level to be achieved in English language, and well, according to the Common European Framework of Reference for Languages, the level CPE is the highest possible due to the fact that those students are able to write in several different types of texts, including essays, proposals, reports, articles, reviews, emails, etc. Secondly, they can answer to phone calls and speak with people from a myriad of regions and accents. And finally, it allows for reading and writing of any type on any subject, nuanced expression of emotions and opinions, and active participation in any academic or professional settings. But nonetheless, to achieve such level, you'd need to perform faultlessly in most papers, which include the learning of linguistics, like word formation, when you talk about affixes, prefixes, suffixes, origin of words, semantics, etc. Furthermore, the listening paper consists of several different accents, such as Australian, British, American, African, Caribbean, Scottish, Canadian, Irish, and even some foreigners speaking English, like Indians, Brazilians, Mexicans, Spanish, French, German, and all. And as far as speaking is concerned, students must speak through the use of numerous English resources, including elaborate vocabulary such as binomial pairs, collocations, portmanteau words, discourse markers, phrasal verbs, figurative language, idioms, and a wide range of synonyms in order not to repeat any words unnecessarily, because of cohesion and coherence. So, today though, we'll focus on applied grammar and vocabulary, which is a key session of the test known as keyword transformation. Those exercises are pivotal because they are worth double score and thus need to be completely mastered. But before we start our lesson, I'd like to invite you to subscribe to my channel by clicking on the button below. Leave your like so that you make sure you get all my tips for international certification, alright? So, let's have a look at keyword transformation. That's basically a sentence followed by a keyword and a second sentence which has a gap in it. And your job is to use the keyword to complete the second sentence so that it means the same as the first sentence. There is a great tip for you here. Each question is marked in two halves, and it's perfectly possible to get 1 whole point in the exam just for getting a single word correctly, even if you don't know the other words to put in the gap. So, in my opinion, you should always give every question a try. So, let's have a look. Exercise number 1. Derek never pays much attention to what his father says. The keyword is notice. Derek doesn't ever blank what his father tells him. So, in the gap, we must use a sentence of minimum 3 words to a maximum of 8 words, including the word given, which is the word in bold. Okay? This exercise is formed by 2 parts. The first part is a collocation, and the second part is the conversion from never, which is a negative adverb, into ever, which is an affirmative adverb. So I give you some time to try, a few seconds. You can pause the video. Alright, now we've got the answer. Derek doesn't ever take much notice of what his father tells him. To take notice is a collocation. That's the first part. However, the adverb much must be included. Plus, the second part, never was converted into ever, and when you take much notice, you take much notice of something. So the preposition of is a must. That would give you the second mark. Okay? Excellent. Let's move to exercise number 2. I wish Carmen would learn to drive. The keyword given is high. It is blank drive. So, this exercise involves the use of synonyms, in this case, synonym of wish, plus the verb tense changes, like would learn will have to be converted into something else. That's my tip for you. So pause the video and try that, please. Okay, so the right answer is, it's high time Carmen learned to drive. In other words, it's high time is a synonym of I wish or she wishes, any person wishes, okay? It's high time. And the verb things had to be changed into learned because high time demands past tense, okay? We gotta remember that the verb to learn in American English is a regular verb, so it's learned. But in British English, it's learned. So it's preferable to use the British English since you are taking the CPE test, of course. Okay? So let's move to exercise number 3. If only I had traveled more when I had the chance. The keyword is taken. And you have to complete I wish blank to travel more. This exercise is formed by the past perfect tense plus a collocation. And I'm going to give you a few seconds to try it out. So pause the video, please. Alright, so the right answer is, I wish I had taken the chance to travel more. In this case, I had taken is the past perfect tense. I have many videos on my channel explaining exactly how to use past perfect, okay? If you have any doubts, please just watch my previous videos. Plus the collocation, to take the chance. You take the chance, you have a chance, so those are collocations with the word given chance. That's the word given the first sentence. You have to be similar or perfectly equal to the first sentence, okay? So I'd rather use chance than opportunity, for instance, okay? So let's move to exercise number 4. Rachel had just started her new teaching job when she got flu. And the keywords came. Rachel blank just after starting her new teaching job. So in this exercise, we are going to have to use a multi-word verb, also known as phrasal verbs. But in this case, you have to use a triple phrasal verb, which is the verb plus 2 different particles. It could be either 2 prepositions, 2 adverbs, or one of each, okay? You can pause the video and try it right now. Alright, I hope you've got it. So the right answer is, Rachel came down with flu just after starting her new job. So the phrasal verb to come down with represents exactly what's being said in the first sentence. She had just started her new teaching job when she got the flu. So when you get sick, you come down with the sickness, okay? It's not too difficult. Let's move to exercise number 5. It would have been a total catastrophe for her to be made responsible. The keyword is put. If she, blank, comma, there would have been very serious consequences. In this case, we have the usage of perfect tenses, but not in the active form, in the passive one. Okay? So it's a perfect passive. Plus, you need an idiom to be used, formed by the word to put. That's the verb to put. And to be responsible, it's basically to be in charge of something. So I've just given you the answer, but I give you some seconds to try it out. Okay? I hope that was an easy one. So the right answer is, if she had been put in charge, there would have been very serious consequences. Okay? Had been put is the perfect passive, the past perfect passive, and to be put in charge is the idiom that represents to be responsible for something. For example, to be in charge of a company, or to be put in charge of a company when that's not your decision. Okay? So let's move to exercise number 6. Alice doesn't intend to visit her uncle again. The key word given is has. So Alice blank her uncle again. In this case, the exercise is formed by dependent prepositions, but not dependent prepositions of verbs, which is the most common usage. It's a dependent preposition of nouns. And the preposition demands ing of the next verb, as each and every preposition. So you can pause the video and try it out. Alright, so the right answer is Alice has no intention of visiting her uncle again. So the noun is intention, the dependent preposition is of, and of demands ing. That's why we say no intention of visiting. Alright? Not too difficult, is it? Exercise number 7. The third candidate impressed the panel immediately. The keyword given is made. The third candidate, blank, the panelists. In this case, that is a word formation, a verb into a noun. Okay? And the second half, you need to be concerned about a dependent preposition again. What's the right preposition to be used? So stop the video and try it out. Alright, so the right answer is the third candidate made an immediate impression on the panelists or panelists. So when you say made an immediate impression, that's because immediately suffered a conversion. It's a word formation, so immediately was converted into immediate. And that's because it comes before a noun, and the noun is impression. So again, impressed was converted into impression. And every time you make an impression on somebody. Okay? So that's why the right answer is made an immediate impression on the panelists. Okay? Let's move to exercise number 8. This part of the factory can only be answered by authorized staff. The keyword given is restricted. Access blank in this part of the factory. So for this exercise, we're using the passive voice, which is the verb to be, plus participle, plus a preposition change, which is a must. So, pause the video and try that, please. Alright, I'm sure you've got that. So, let's check. Access is restricted to authorized staff in this part of the factory. So we have the to be passive, which is restricted. Just remind you, the participle is the third column of the verbs, right? And the preposition change is the preposition to instead of by, because in this case it was restricted to somebody, in the case of to authorized staff. Okay? Let's move to exercise number 9. Kids and seniors are much more prone to infection than others. The keywords pick. Kids and seniors, blank, easily than others. In this case, we must use a phrasal verb formed by the verb to pick, plus using comparatives but using 2 different adverbs. That's the tip for you, 2 different adverbs. So pause the video and try that out, please. Alright, so let's check it. Kids and seniors pick up infections more easily than others. So the phrasal verb was to pick up. As we pick up a language, we pick up an infection, pick up a disease, pick up somebody, plus more easily, alright? Which is this comparative using than others, okay? And the 2 adverbs. And the last exercise of the day, exercise number 10. It's highly likely that we will promote Susan this summer. The keyword given is chance. There is very little blank being promoted this summer. For this exercise, my tip for you is to use a dependent preposition. In the second part, you can use a passive. Okay? So dependent preposition the first half, in the second half, just the passive, which might have been given to you. So pause the video and try that out, please. Alright, so let's check it. There is very little chance of Susan being promoted this summer. And in this case, we use the dependent preposition of, chance of, and of demands ing, so being is used with ing, and being promoted is passive, okay? So, I hope you have enjoyed this class, and I'd like to thank you so much for being with me all this time today. I'm going to ask again to subscribe to my channel and click on the button below. Make sure you get all your friends to join us so they can get all my tips for international certificates such as GMAT, TOEFL, Cambridge and IELTS. And guys, see you. I hope to see you next time. So cheers. Bye for now.